Hi, I'm Kimberly Court.
And I'm Catherine Court.
And we're the owners of Pilates on Fifth here in Manhattan and the creators of PilatesOnFifthOnline.com. Today we are here to show you all the things, not all, at least 5 things you can do with the long stretch band that we had made for us. And it's 4 feet longer than a regular exercise band, which allows you to do more things. But the other thing is you can do your typical exercises as well, and for really tall people it can help. So all the arm stuff you do, etc., is really nice. You just might have extra,
It's 11 feet.
Yes.
If you're into the metric system, I believe it's 333 centimeters. Do not quote me on that, or I don't have the calculator.
Oh, yes.
I'm not going to do it in my head.
And we Americans are terrible with the metric system, even though it should be so much more logical than
Yes.
ours. Okay, so what we're going to do first is, so we have a logo right in the middle, so kind of that's where you know where the middle is, so kind of conveniently placed there for more than just marketing. So you're going to let the ends drape to the floor. Now, depending on your height, you'll know where to stand. So it'll take you maybe one time to figure out where is best for you to stand. So we're just going to put our feet somewhere on the edges so we have a hold of them. The other thing you can do if you find that you need more resistance is you just grab closer to your feet and you'll have band dangling over your head. And if you need less tension, you can hold your hands closer together. So we're going to start with our hands about shoulder distance apart. And for starters, you'll press your arms overhead. So this could be an exercise in and of itself where you just do an overhead press, right? But you all can figure that one out on your own. We're going to leave our arms overhead, and then keeping ourselves like we're stuck between 2 window panes in a toaster, we're going to lean to one side and up and over, and exhale, and up, and exhale. So this is a nice stretch for the entire sideline of the body. And up, and 2 more, then we'll show you a variation, and 1 more. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over. Then you're going to keep your foot on, but you're going to bend this knee and really round to get into the QL on that side. And coming up. Now, some people find, I'm just going to show you real quick, that you want to get your ball of the foot a little more on the band, so that if you wanted to lift the heel and turn more, you can without the band flipping up and hitting you. We have a great outtake of that.
We do. we might put that on as bonus material.
Yes, bonus material at the end. So with your ball of the foot on, you would go side bend, and then you can turn, and now I've lifted my heel a little bit as well, which might get into the QL a little bit more.
QL being quadratus lumborum.
Quadratus lumborum. Up again, and then we go over, and then we round. So again, whether or not you want to lift the heels up to you, and up. And one more time, side bend, and then turn so you get that QL. Quadratus lumborum into TFL, and up. And then just bend your arms behind your head, slide your hands a little bit lower onto the band so you're closer to your feet, and you can reach your arms out to the side, and it's just a nice little side stretch, meaning front of the body stretch. Arms reaching side. Sorry, we're hitting each other. No, you stay where you are.
Okay, whoops.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I was just going to adjust my arm height.
Yep, no, you're good.
So,
it's all good.
Alrighty then. So from here, we can take the band and we'll bring it to the floor. Now, we're going to do kick back and kick up, which it can be done with other bands as well, but this can be nice because you have a lot more leeway with tension. But a nice way to, if you're worried about it staying on your foot, one thing you can do is you find the middle, and so, well, let's come down to the mat. And we place the band on the top of the foot and then cross it underneath. So you're just creating a little bit of a foothold. So that way you don't have to worry about it flying off and smacking you. Then with the edges of the band, you're going to come into all fours. So your knee of the leg with the band on it will be in between the band. And then hold it between your thumb and the knuckle of your index finger, and then make sure your hands are flat, because you want to make sure your scapula is still nice and stable and nothing's gone awry there. So we're just going to lift the knee up slightly without lifting the hip, and then you exhale, press back, and inhale in. And exhale, press back, and inhale in. So for really tall people, this can be nicer to have more variations in tension.
Exactly, because you want to be able to straighten the knee all the way. If you can't straighten the knee all the way, this exercise doesn't really make as much sense. So if you're really tall or your glutes aren't that strong, this is difficult if the band is too short.
Yes. Alrighty. Now from here, leave it straight, you're going to just bend the knee. Now this can kind of be uncomfortable because the band kind of is in between your legs, but we're just doing baby pulses up. So just, if you need to, bring the outer hand a little closer in so it's a little less uncomfortable. And 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Lovely. So it's our kick back and kick up, which of course we would do on both sides, but we'll do our second side later. We're just trying to show you all the wonderful things you can do with the band. So now to show you the next one, I'm going to do this facing front first, but then I'll turn to the side. You're going to find the middle of the band again, and you put your feet right on either side of the little logo there. Then hold up the band a little bit, reach forward. If you need to bend your knees, reach forward and grab the logo, and then you're going to pull it through. So you're going to end up holding three pieces. You're going to hold the middle of the band, one edge, and the other edge. And then you're going to hold both of those with one hand. So that's where we are. Now, I'm sitting this way so you can see that, and now I have to do this.
And I'm going to come way back here so we don't collide.
Yes, and you might need to come forward
Yes,
off the mat
yep.
so you don't collide there too. So first of all, if you change to an underhand grip, you could do some rollbacks here, right? But we're just going to use this right now to roll back into a supine position. And then holding the band, we are going to pick one leg up into tabletop. We've already imprinted, and the other leg up. And we're going to reach our legs up to the ceiling. Now this can take a second to figure out for you, depending on your height, how much tension you need in the band, because obviously we're all different heights, we're all different levels of flexibility and strength. So the good news is it's easy to adjust just by sliding your hands up and down the band. So we're going to go into windmills because that's the most exciting one that we can do. And we'll bring our right leg towards us first. So you're going to scissor, scissor, and around. And scissor, scissor, and around. She's right over my head.
I know.
Scissor, scissor, and around. And one more time. Scissor, scissor, and around. Lovely. We're going to curl both knees in, keep the band where it is, roll to your side and press up. And Catherine's going to tell us how she did a better job of keeping the tension throughout on that
Yes.
exercise.
So if you really pull and you create a little bit more tension than you think you need, it makes it clever and it makes it consistent. And then you just flex your biceps too. So it ends up being a teensy baby bit of a bicep workout, but
Right.
you can do that. And that way you also feel the support. You can really press into your heel and feel it lengthening out through the
So I
band.
think the key here would be, like, I should have had mine choked up, for lack of a better word, a bit more for starting, because it's easier to let the tension slide through your hands while you're in the middle of the exercise than to re-grab in the middle of the exercise.
That would be true.
So starting with a teeny bit more tension means you can just kind of loosen your grip and let it slide out, because I found when my leg came towards me, it was too loose just because I was babbling and talking to you guys. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is start with a little bit tense, because it's easy to kind of let it slip through your fingers. Okay. So from here, we've got a fun one coming up. You are going to take those edges of the bands, which should be right in front of you, and you are going to tie a little knot between the two of them. Now, depending on how tall you are and flexible you are, you will find where the knot needs to be. You're probably not going to get it right the first time, because that would be very interesting to do that, right?
Yeah.
So bring the loop, one loop onto each foot. And I should have, wait a minute, I put the knot down first. So get the knot kind of behind you, and then the loop on each foot.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I couldn't remember
We're going to
what
have
you were
some,
doing.
yeah. And then we're going to bring this whole package behind us so that our feet are in front of us in the loop, and the knot is behind us here.
Yep.
And we're going into the straddle, if you haven't figured that out.
I figured it out.
Okay. So this can be a really nice way to stretch, and we're going to open our legs out to the side. So this can be a nice way. So if I had more tension, it would be pulling my legs back for less. So from here, obviously this alone is a stretch, but from here you can do a nice side bend over, which is a really great, we just talked about the QL before. This is one of the best QL stretches, quadratus lumborum stretches there is. So we're very tight here, so you can all sit and laugh at us. And then we go the other way. And what's nice here is because this foot is definitely reaching away, it's easier to keep this hip bone down instead of lifting off.
Yes.
Which is very important.
Keeps you honest.
It keeps you very honest as we come up. Now, this also, what's great is it helps pull your legs open and pull you into turnout. So if you do decide to go forward, I would just suggest that you bring it lower on your back, so that when you go forward, it doesn't come up and like take your ponytail off.
That would hurt.
Yeah, so you can do it one hand at a time so that you still get the benefits of the band. But if you lean forward and you're wearing slippery clothing, it's gonna shoot up your head which is not always comfortable. Alrighty, we have one more to come. Oh, let's go ahead and bring our legs together, which can feel nice. And then of course you could do a little forward bend here, but just grab on, and that's where you're getting the nice, yes, the nice, flexion of the ankles, and a nice little forward bend. Now we have to stand up and adjust the camera to show you our last one here. Alrighty, so with the edges still tied together, you're gonna reach down and grab where the logo is, because you know that's the middle, and sort of hold that little package. You're gonna take both of the loops at the bottom and you're gonna put it on one foot, right? So you're here. Now the key is getting it to stay on your foot, so that might take a little just finagling. If your if your hamstring starts to cramp, you might not want to do it this way. So you can bend this knee a little bit, but you have to flex the foot too. And then you bring the other loops around and you're going to put this over your shoulder like a backpack. And I usually reach and make sure that it stays on my foot. So you can see I've got it on this shoulder here with a knot, and then around this arch right here. And normally I do this with my hair tied in a little knot on top of my head so I don't rip all my hair out while doing this. From here, we are going to make sure it stays on your foot, hands come to the bar, and you're going to reach that leg out. Ooh. Now arabesque was never our best line. And exhale, straighten, and inhale, bend. And straighten. So I'm gonna hop back a little so we can do a little penché, and you can lean over, and coming up. And exhaling over. Keep that knee straight. Personal note, I have a mirror in front of me. Scary thing always. And just one more. Exhaling over. Now leave your leg. Try to bring your back up a little higher and let your back bring you up. If you can, try to take your arms off. Oopsie, and see if you can get a little balance out of that. And then to come down, you can bend that knee, slide it off your shoulder first, avoiding the hair. And then of course you would repeat on the other side. And those are all the things you can do with an extra long stretch band.
Not all.
Not all. Yes. Some of the many wonderful things you can do with an extra long stretch band.